Yeah, rolling.
Okay. Say your name and spell it for us so that we
My
always
name
get it
is
right.
Joy Dorsey Whiting, JoyDorseyWhiting.
And you are the principal. Yeah, I'm the principal of.
I'm the principal of Fannie Meyer Hillers Elementary School.
Okay, great. So, why did you go into education?
I went into education because both of my parents are teachers. My mother was a preschool teacher. My father was a special education teacher. I have aunts and uncles who are educators, and originally I wanted to be a doctor, a pediatrician, until I went to Rutgers and saw the cadavers, and then I knew that was not for me. But education has always been part of my life. I used to play school with my dolls and my friends, and it just became something that I felt was what I was meant to do.
Perfect. Um, what do you try to instill in your kids?
I try to instill in the children at Hillers, I call them my Hiller School Stars, and I try to instill in them pride in themselves, love for learning, appreciation for the world around them, and to work to make their mark however that is, and to not measure themselves according to anybody else's standards. And that's what we try to do here every day.
Perfect. Talk a little bit just in general about the importance of education.
Education is so vastly important. I always go back to what my mother and father always told me about education, and that is once you have education and knowledge in your brain, that's something that can never be taken away from you. And so, education allows you to experience new opportunities, to have careers and meet people, and just to explore the best person that you can be. And that's why education is so important.
Perfect. How did you learn about Bergen Leads?
Interestingly enough, I heard about Bergen Leads through Amanda Missy. Amanda Missy, son Drew, was a student at Fairmount School. And I was a teacher at Fairmount School. This year actually marks my 24th year working in Hackensack Public Schools. And Amanda called and invited me over 10 years ago to come and speak on an education panel to Bergen Leads. And when I went, I was part of a panel. We talked about the importance of education, and there was a great group of people that we uh, had conversations with, and people I hadn't met before. And ever since then, I've been coming to Bergen Leads for the last 10 years.
What do you think is oh, last 10 years, and there's the 10th anniversary. We'll get to that. But what do you think is the importance? Why is it important to have a program like Bergen Leads in the community?
I believe Bergen Leads is important because it exposes all people from different professions, walks of life, and vocations in one central location where they're learning about the community that they live in. So many times people live in areas and they don't really know what's happening. They're just residents. They're not members of the community. And so through Bergen Leads, all of the professionals get to come to a place and they learn about education and giving back and how the county functions and the cities function. And as if you're really going to be an integral part of any community, you need to know the community, not just live here. And that's what Bergen Leads does for their students and alumni.
Perfect. And I want you to talk a little bit. You're a principal. I mean, you're a principal, so you're in charge of of teachers.
Mm-hmm.
You have to deal with administrators, all that kind of thing. Talk a little bit about leadership. What do you think is the key to like a really good leader?
I believe the key to a really good leader is understanding the people that you're leading and being willing to go in and lead by example and not just asking people to do something, but letting them know that you're willing to do it and you're willing to do it with them. and getting that buy-in from the people that you're leading. I was in college, and a professor always told us that if you are leading and there's no one following, then you're just out taking a walk. And so my goal is to not just be out taking a walk, is to have people leading, to lead and have people following, but also engender that sense of community where we are leading together.
That's amazing. I'm going to ask you to do that one sort of again, but I want you to start with sort of as a principal, you know, I want you to talk, I like what your professor said, and I want you to get that back in there, and about you when you first started leading by example. So I want to be, as a principal, I believe in leading by example, and then go on to whatever else you want to say, but I want, because I know I would use that, so I want you to say, as a principal, I believe in leading by example, you know, not doing, if you're not willing to do it, whatever. When I was in school, I met a principal, I met a professor, so, as a principal, I believe. So.
As a principal, I believe in leading by example. And I always tell my staff that I am willing to do whatever I ask them to do. And that I'm not really going to ask them to do something that I can't do or that I wouldn't do alongside with them. And when I was in college, there was a professor that shared with us that leadership means that if you're out, I forgot what I said.
Oh no, that's okay. You can pick it up right there. When I was in college, I had a professor who said, if you're leading and no one's following, you're just out taking a walk. Yep.
I completely forgot.
Just pick it up right there. Okay. When I was in college, I had a professor who said,
Rosemary? Oh, that's my superintendent.
Okay, go ahead. You need to talk to her?
I think she just wanted to meet you.
Oh, okay. 2 seconds.
Okay.
Let's get this one. So when I was in college, I had a professor.
I had a professor.
Yeah.
And he said it to us all the time, and now you have me say it again. Okay. All right. So when I was in college, I had a professor who said that if you're a leader and you're just out, what is it?
If you're leading and no one is following, you're
Thank you.
just out taking a walk.
I say it all the time.
Great. You have got to remember that. That's like perfect. If you're leading and nobody is following, you're just out taking a walk.
That's what he used to say to us.
That's perfect.
Okay, here we go. I got to get it right. Okay. All right. When I was in college, I had a professor who used to always say to us, if you're leading and no one's following, then you're just out taking a walk. And so my goal in leading Hiller School is to make sure that as a staff, I am leading, but my staff is following, and that we're working together to do the best for these children and our parents at Hiller School.
Perfect. I'm going to get 2 more questions, and then if she's still out there, how did you, we did that one. We did the importance of relationship with, okay, I want to talk a little bit, we did that. So I just want to ask you about, you know, part of Bergen Leads is about teaching students how to be leaders in their community or whatever it is they want to do in their community. So I want you to talk a little bit about, because that's pretty much what you're doing as an educator.
Right.
You're in the community. So talk a little bit about community and the value of community and the value of sort of a Bergen Leads giving back to the community as a program that gives back. The value of Bergen Leads as a program literally giving back to community, because it's teaching people how to be leaders in their own community. So talk a little bit about community, giving back. You know, if you can incorporate Bergen Leads, perfect.
Okay. There's so much importance in giving back to your community. And when I have spoken at Bergen Leads and talked to the members and participants in the program, I always talk to them about the power of people coming back and talking to the children in the schools and being stakeholders in the community, and not just visiting the school on occasion, but coming in and sharing your gifts and talents with the children, with the staff. Our community here at Hillers is very, very rich, and we always try to make sure that parents are involved. We have local vendors that come to the school that help us do things here. And so when you talk about community and Bergen Leads, it's a perfect marriage, especially in the role of education, because children may see people or parents or people in their churches, or when they go to play at the playground or in the supermarket, people in the community that they would not normally see. But when they come into the school and they find out that those people care and they give back. And it's a wonderful thing, and our children get to benefit from that, and that's why I think Bergen Leads is so important.
Perfect. And the last thing, 10 years, I want you to do some sort of, just say, I started, I got involved with Bergen Leads 10 years ago, and now they're celebrating 10 years.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It is.
And congratulations, Bergen Leads, something like that.
Well, 10 years ago, I started speaking at Bergen Leads on their education forum and talking about the importance of education, the role that education plays in the community. And I cannot believe it's been 10 years. It's been awesome. I look forward to coming every year and talking about the power of the community, the power of education, and how people can make a difference. So on behalf of myself and all the wonderful children here at Hillard School, and all of the great children at all of our schools across Bergen County, I want to congratulate Bergen Leads on 10 wonderful years.
Perfect. All right, so we got it. Got the interview part. So we're going to do a little, what we call the B-roll part.
Okay.